Traveling with the queen of rock and roll. The COVID hit, now we're stuck at home. Instead of sitting on our ass, we came up with this sick podcast. Crewicide, Crewicide. Out of my way, you're in my line. Crewicide, Crewicide. The main four pitch that sticks all night. Crewicide, Crewicide. Ha 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 ha. Crewicide, Crewicide. No autographs tonight. Can I get a set list, man? Hey, set list, please.
Welcome to the Crewicide podcast. I am here with Annie Stoic, of course, your hostess with the mostest, and me, I'm Beef Henderson. And today, our special guest, tour extraordinaire, the world over, whatever, mega roadie, you name it, Tracey Wiedeman, the mega blonde rocks.
Yeah. Woo.
What up, Tracey?
Hello. I'm so happy to see you guys. This is so exciting.
I shouldn't be smoking right off the bat. Sorry. I was trying not to smoke right at the show. Sorry.
Let it all go. Congrats on your show, by the way. Congrats. This is fantastic.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
You guys too.
So you're tuning in from Vegas. How are things over there
Yes.
by you?
Vegas is depressing. It is definitely still no man's land here. I mean, we're trying, and I honestly think if any city's going to get it done, behind New York, they're going to get it done here.
Right.
I think they're
Especially
their
for
neck.
entertainment,
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
for certain.
Yeah.
Crazy. Why don't we start off with a little background on you? And I know you have a lot going on right now because you're
I do.
a certified badass and hustler.
Yeah.
Gotta hustle. We gotta hustle right now.
Yeah, gotta hustle. So why don't you do like a little background on like how you got into the business and what you're up to now?
Yeah, it's a cool story actually.
We like those. We like those.
Yeah, it was meant to be. Let's put it that way. So attending my very first show at Red Rocks, just going to sit down, something came over me, and I was in high school, and something came over me. It's like, when I grow up, quote unquote, I want to work for Barry Faye. Well, fast forward, just graduated from Columbine High School in 1988. I was managing a tanning and swimwear salon, and I had a long line of people. And this girl that's at the end of the line comes up to the desk, and she's like, I was really impressed the way you handled that lady, because I had a really cranky old lady at the desk. And she's like, I was really impressed with the way you handled her. I'm the receptionist at Faye Concerts, and I've just been promoted to production, but I can't take my promotion until I find someone. Are you interested? And then I was off and running. Yeah. 18 years old, right out of high school, working at Faye Concerts as a receptionist. So it started from there, and it's all due to Carrie Stevens. Like she was the girl in line who walked up to the desk, and Carrie Stevens got me my start. And of course, working for Barry Faye, who was a legend in our territory. I learned the most I could ever learn from that man.
It's funny you say that word, territory. Yeah. It's funny you say that word, territory. Yeah, sorry, right? I didn't mean to interrupt. But I know
you're absolutely right. Because we were Colorado, but we were also Las Vegas, actually. We were the first promoter to put modern music on the Vegas Strip. We were the exclusive bookers of The Joint when it first opened. But we also had Phoenix. We worked, with the promoter in Phoenix. We had El Paso. We were doing shows in Albuquerque. So that was our territory as the local promoter in Denver, Colorado.
Nice.
Yeah. So you're right.
Guys stretched wide.
Yeah.
Very different.
So things are very different now. That's very true. And then it actually, the whole way I got on the road, I was ready to hit the road, and Carrie knew that I wanted to hit the road. Back to Carrie, and this is 10 years later, and she was asked to be production assistant for Tim Rozner and Rocco Reedy on the Classic Rock main event tour with Journey, Styx, and REO Speedwagon, and she was the personal assistant to Bonnie Raitt, and so she's like, I can't take this job. Do you want it?
Nice.
And Tim Rozner I had worked with starting out at 18 years old at Faye Concerts. So 10 years later, Faye comes back around again, and then I started on the road. So
Wow,
thank you,
that's an
Carrie.
incredible story.
It's awesome. And
Yeah.
I know,
That's very cool.
yeah, Tim Rozner's a huge production
Oh, yes.
manager, and I know you've worked with him for a long time. And then that's how I met you when Joan was on tour with Styx. Was the first year, I believe, right?
It was Styx and Tesla. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was our first introduction, and we were like, I remember meeting you at the venue, and you were like immediately like, "Oh my God, we're gonna be best friends!" And I'm like, "Yes."
Oh,
Well,
that's
first of all,
definitely
it's so
foreseeable.
exciting when you see another female. You know?
Yeah.
You're like, yes, there's another cool chick here.
That's
Yeah.
it's definitely cool story.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's so cool. I'm so
Yeah.
glad you guys met each other. I was, not in the mix at that point, but it's like so amazing to hear how it like boom, that Styx tour, man. And she says all the time, I never toured with REO Speedwagon before then, and Joan toured 100 times with them,
Right.
But it's like so funny. So that's crazy. I'm sorry. I love hearing it. I love hearing it.
Yeah. So it was all meant to be.
Yes.
The cosmos is aligned. I think for a lot of people, like it just was it meant to be, I knew from a very early age, like when I went to Madison Square Garden to go see wrestling when I was a kid, actually the circus, I remember being in the arena, like you said, sitting down and taking it around and being in the arena and being like, somehow my future and my life is going to be involved in this, like this is where I want to be.
Strikes. Yeah, like out of
That's
nowhere.
The word.
It was like a lightning
That's the
bolt.
word.
Yep.
It really is.
And then we're forever.
Yeah.
We're here. We're lifers.
Exactly. Yeah. So after we did the Styx Tesla Summer Tour, you had come out and then worked with the Blackhearts. I believe the rest of that summer and fall, and then we did the Heart El King tour after that the last summer, summer of touring. Yeah,
I know that was it, and that again was with Tim Rozner. We were with Heart, so Tim and I've been together since 1988.
Jesus, that is a hell of a long time.
Yeah.
I was 7. I know I'm saying my age, but I mean, like, oh my God, you've been promoting concerts since, in promotion of concerts since, I don't mean to be like, wow, holy shit, since I'm 7.
It's true. I came in at what I call the end of the duck or bleed days, because it really was, if you didn't duck, you would bleed if you were acting out, So I came in at the end of those days. Things are much more corporate now, but we don't have HR on the road, so you got to mind your P's and Q's.
That's true.
Right. And then when you have to take an HR course, it has nothing to do with the road, our business.
Exactly. Wow. You're told to tell them, stop, I'm not comfortable with this. Well, that's not going to fly.
When you're sitting at the office by the water cooler, and I'm like, when does this happen?
Exactly.
Oh, God, that's funny. Sorry.
Yeah.
So before we get into a bunch of other touring stuff, I know you have some stuff going on right now. So before we get toward the ends of the podcast, why don't we get you to plug all of your stuff right now?
Okay.
Please do tell.
Let's get it out.
Yeah.
I'm running admin for Paige Hamilton from Helmet Guitar Lessons.
Oh, I love Paige. Tell him I said hello. Please, I'm sure he I'm sure he remembers me. It's been a long time, but oh my God,
great memory. I'm sure he will.
Oh,
he's the best, right?
Great.
He's the best.
Oh, we can get it. Oh, Paige, you just said that. It made me. What
make
time?
You feel warm inside.
You know what? And just quick, and not to interrupt you, but the last time I saw Paige, we were in Hollywood. Of course, this is how the podcast goes with us. You say a name, or you say a friend of somebody, or somebody we all know. But Paige, we did the Warped Tour in 06 with Paige, and I literally did 60 shows with him, and we traveled with him, and he was, we traveled in the same bus camp as him. You know what I mean? We were all parked together, and we spent a lot of time that summer, and he was so amazing, other than, being the most amazing musician I've ever heard of. But the last time I saw him, we were in Hollywood, and he said, come on out. And we were with Enzo, the old bass player, and he took us to this bar out in Hollywood And, you know, we spent all night there talking about the craziest shit. And it was just, he's an amazing fucking guy.
He is.
I haven't seen him in so long.
He's such a good human. And he's so
Oh.
talented too. You know, his roots are in jazz.
I mean, he scores films for everyone.
He does.
You know, he scores films.
He's a film composer. He's a producer. You know, there's so much more to Paige Hamilton than guitar. But if you're looking for a guitar lesson, go to PaigeHamiltonMusic.com. You'll get a message from me.
It's so funny. I've seen that ad.
Oh, you have? Awesome. Yes, it's working.
Your ad targeting is working.
Yes. Yeah, he's a great guy. So it's really fun to work with him because he's such a great friend too. So I've got that going on. I've got a custom merch store that's actually launching tomorrow morning, which I think will be launched probably by the time this airs. It's called go4merch.com, like a radio call. Tracey to merch, go4merch.com.
Nice.
And it's custom stick shirts. So if you're into the band Styx, they're customized. Like Annie's wearing one of my custom shirts actually. And I've got on a Joan Jett custom, so you customize the neck. I've got some tanks. I've also got my own shirt on there. It's a Day of the Dead Muertos Carpe Diem shirt. So please support me.
Oh, please, everybody do.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're super cool shirts.
Yeah, they're comfy, you know. And then I've also, I'm newly on the advisory board for an organization called ProgressHumanity.org. And my girlfriend, Cassandra, founded this. And she's one of those friends, like when she says, hey, Tracey, do you want to? And it doesn't matter what XYZ comes behind that, you just say yes. So I had actually invited her out to NAMM a handful of years ago. And she's like, I want to help the pygmies. And I was like, I had no idea that the pygmies were still in existence. I had no clue. And she had this goal to help the pygmies. She started Progress Humanity, and she actually helped them. She helped them get land and help protect them because there's some crazy things happening, such as over there, it's good luck to eat a pygmy. So people were cannibalizing pygmies. So she actually helped protect them. So it's just awful. I can't even fathom, like thinking, oh, this is good luck to eat somebody. Anyways,
I don't mean to be dumb here. I'm sorry. What is it? Please explain to me the pygmy situation in detail a little bit more.
I will have to have Cass get on the phone with you and explain that because I would not do it justice. But,
all right.
Yeah,
maybe I'll have to look in. It's just really bad.
I'll get you some more information because it's really interesting. So that's how she started Progress Humanity. But Progress Humanity is really, in my terms, about being a good human. And it's about choosing peace over violence. So she's got me working on a couple of projects, actually with the Jordan Rail Film Commission. We can't quite speak about it yet, but when we can, I'll be sure and let you guys know. But one of the programs that we're working on is a global artist collaboration. That's really exciting. So she has me coming in to work on the music side of it because it's really, interesting how we can, as music people, we can be a part of assisting things on a global level and helping people globally. So now's the time to do it while we've got time in our hands, right?
Yeah.
But always trying to do good things. So it's a real cool project that we've got going on.
That's really cool. And all the sites and projects that Tracey's working on, we'll put all the links in the description. So make sure to check out all of that down below somewhere. Or if you're listening, it's links are out there.
Thank you.
You check it out.
Check it out below.
I mean, that's awesome stuff. When Annie said you were a hustler, I was like, whoa. But I knew that you'd been doing some stuff because, I see the page all the time in your stuff, you know, through the Instagram, and like, I mean, what you're involved in is pretty extensive. That's insane. That's insanity.
It's really cool too. I mean, when Cass was, you know, hit me up and she's like, "How would you like to work with the country of Jordan?" I'm like, okay.
Yeah, why not?
I'm down, you know, and it's you know, the connection to Washington D.C. and so forth. So it's been really, really interesting, especially with everything that's been happening recently, over the past year, actually. So it's real cool. I'm real excited about it. But I have to say, honestly, probably the first 6 months or so, I took it the hell off. I was burnt out and I was tired, and I did things like I watched all the Marvel movies in chronological order. I did, you know, like I didn't do nothing. You know?
Oh.
And, you know, my job is so much like it's dependent on my computer, my phone, like 24/7. So I was thrilled to take a break from all the electronics and not have to feel like I had to answer to anybody or anything. So I'll be honest, I took the first 6 months the hell off.
I was right there with you, honestly, Tracey. Yeah. I said that to Annie before. People might think it's stupid, but I'm so glad in a way that I don't have that. There's no live events right now because it was just crazy for me too.
It's just not safe. Yeah, absolutely. People are like, "Oh, you're just, you know, collecting a paycheck on the couch." And it's like, well, actually, I'd rather be working, and I collect more of a paycheck when I'm working, but absolutely. I'm a lot safer right now on my couch, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but we'll get it together. We'll get it together this year.
Yeah. I sure hope so.
Are there a lot of signs in Vegas? Like I saw there's a lot of coming soon signs in Vegas. Are they like really prepping it?
There is, and to talk about prep. I mean, today they just announced the weekend tour. It's going to be at T-Mobile 2022. And it's going on sale. I was like, wow, okay.
Oh boy, that's a really good indication right there, fellow touring industry people that are listening to this, crew people. That's a good indication because, like she said, Vegas is on the forefront of entertainment as much as New York or LA.
Right, because we were talking about that earlier with like probably artists doing residencies first to kind of get back into it.
And there is some of that being advertised, like Caesars and so forth, for this summer, which honestly, it makes the most sense, I think, for casinos to bring shows back because they don't have the same type of overhead a standalone venue does. So, you know, they just want to get people into the casino. So for them, it makes a lot of sense. And they're doing it. They're open. They're operating. So to me, that makes sense. But what I'm not sure about, for example, Garth Brooks was supposed to have the first show at our new Allegiant Stadium here. 65,000 people sold out in 2 hours. It was supposed to be the end of February, and they moved it to July. And I'm like, I am dying to see how this is going to work for 65,000 people sold out in July. Like,
do you think maybe they'll split the show up?
I don't know. It should be really
then there's
interesting.
Also like there's interesting things also as artists really want to do a show with half capacity and then it looks bad too.
Yeah, right.
Like they want
That's true.
There's true. I've seen people talk about that too. But
sure, and they've talked about artists, you know, not even feeling safe hitting the road yet, so they could, promoters can't book a proper festival, so to speak, because they're not going to get all the artists there that they want. But I don't know. That's not my side of the business, but you know, it's my thought.
I think you touched on something there also. Again, the whole artist feeling comfortable. That's half of. You're not. I heard, and I hate saying the name. Annie, you have to bleep this out maybe, but done. I heard. Like they're done, like for the foreseeable future. That was just a rumor I heard through some people here on the East Coast, you know, and stuff like that. And like, you know, he's like, you know, done or like someone like that is done. Like, can this be real for like a lot of other people, you know?
It's scary with the older musicians too. You know, they have a lot more to be scared for, to be out on the road. So of course the residencies make the most sense because those are basically fly dates, you know, whereas touring doesn't make sense unless all the cities are open, right? So I don't know what's going to happen.
Right. And it's like there's so many factors.
It's more I think it's more manageable in residency where you can control how far your audience is away from this. They might be a little bit further, but it might be a little bit less people. But like, you know, you'll be able to sell out multiple dates in a residency than trying to do it in one shot.
Oh, heck yeah. In Vegas, you could be here for months. Like literally, you could be here for months doing a residency.
Oh, so, you might see me. You might see me next year.
Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. I do want to touch on stuff that you have done and bands you've toured with and things like that, and your position and what you do. Do a little background on you.
Definitely. You know, I classify it all as artist, event, and tour management plus production coordinator. So you never really know how you're going to see me out there. I could be doing VIP. You never know. But, you know, I am a tour manager, but when it comes to working with Tim Rozner, like I said, we've worked together since 1988. I will be his production coordinator any day. And I actually really enjoy being a production coordinator as well. And I enjoy doing the VIP too, when I can be able to be a, you know, production coordinator and a VIP host, because I love meeting the fans and I love getting to actually interact with them and talk to them.
Yeah, that's what I like about doing merch too, and meet and greets and stuff.
Yeah,
it's getting to just meet a ton of people quick. You know, it's cool.
You all know how I feel about that side.
What?
I love it.
Oh yeah,
I love the people. I talk to everyone. Literally, I message everyone that messages us, or like I'm like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. I don't shut up.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. So really, I always say anything that's behind the stage but not on the stage, I like to, you know, try and help with or be a part of, or am able to flip-flop roles backstage to get things done.
Right, of course. And what? Yeah. I guess you were. I guess also production coordinator for Blackhearts, also when you were with us, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Helping fill in.
Yeah, because the past few years we've been, you know, everyone's coming in and out to different tours. Who's starting here at this point? So there's been a lot of everyone going everywhere.
Yeah, we had fun. It was,
I think when did I meet? Did I meet you in the Who? Is that the first one I met you on? No,
I feel like it was the Illinois State Fair.
Oh yes, it was Illinois State.
Yeah, when we were with Warner. Yeah, he was in town somewhere. We were.
I think it was. Were you at the Heart on the Heart tour?
I was Heart
at Jones Beach. I think Annie's right. Jones Beach might have been that right around there. Might have been the Hard time because Annie's like, you got to meet Tracy.
Yeah,
I was like,
I'm sorry, that's the road, but
I didn't mean it like that. It might have been on the road, but I don't.
I feel like you were in town seeing a friend or something.
Somewhere.
Yes.
I thought it was the Illinois State Fair.
Springfield, Illinois.
Yes.
It was.
Yes.
We went to the Lincoln Museum.
Yes. And we took Joan to see the original home of Abe Lincoln.
That's right.
I was in Springfield, Illinois by chance. Absolutely. And that's when we did meet. You're right. Oh, God.
That's probably one of the greatest museums I've been to. Like, who would have, like, it was like Disneyland status.
I know somebody that would say, "Oh my God, I've been seeing that my whole life."
You know, I was like, "Who would have thought?" You know,
it was so cool, and you know, to see where he lived and all the random Abe Lincolns walking around town. Where else can you get that?
Yeah. It's like Times Square, Abe Lincoln. You know, just Abe Lincoln in Times Square.
That's what it was.
Yeah, and Michael took us to go see the shark movie. What was it?
Megalodon?
The Meg.
The Meg. There we go.
Yep.
Yeah.
I remember that one. I wasn't at the the festivities during the day, but we showed up a little bit later on that night and hung out and had some memories. But I remember that. Yeah, we were at the State Fair. I went on the Gravitron and I lost my phone. This is a true story because I'm a sucker for a Gravitron. You know, the spaceship that goes around and around at the carnival and you get stuck to the wall, you know. So I went on it and I lost my phone and keys.
Man.
but I found them.
That.
Out of all the state fairs I've been to,
wow. After I was halfway through the carnival, I went to go grab I didn't have my keys. I'm sorry, my hotel key. I had my hotel key from, and like I had the phone, and I found one of them, and then I was going through the carnival, and I realized halfway through the carnival on the other side I missed my phone, and it was in the Gravitron behind the fucking seat.
You got so lucky. You got so lucky because I love roller coasters. So wherever there's a roller coaster, I'm there. And we went to Six Flags. I want to say it was New Jersey. And I can't remember the name of the roller coaster now, but it was like super tall. I think one of the tallest roller coasters there was at the time.
Well, there was Shockwave. There was the Six Flags. Depending on what year, it was the Viper. It could have been, it could have been the Scream Machine.
Super, like it shot up like a rocket, and then it went straight up.
Oh,
down.
the Batman and Robin, the Chiller.
It's not that one, but anyways, we were in the front roller coaster, and I lost my phone, my sunglasses, everything just went shooting out of my pockets. But down below there was apes. So there's also like a zoo area below.
Oh, the safari. There's a safari right next to it. Yeah.
So there was no getting my phone back.
They wouldn't give it back to you.
I know. Can you just see? You're like driving by and there's this ape on the phone.
They're like, I got some VIP passes to the show. Come on, I don't know what the hell we were talking about, but I'm sorry. I just threw it off. I threw it off the coaster rails.
I can talk about roller coasters all day long, but Anyways, so yes, we met in Illinois. That's where it was.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
I do want to get into a little bit of being the lone lady on the tour and how that kind of. Have you always kind of been like one of the only women on tour, and like, and where have you seen it like progress throughout the years for you?
Absolutely. And it's interesting. I was thinking about this earlier actually, because it's not something you think about until you have usually it's a cranky old dude that treats you like crap, and then you're like, oh wow, I am the only chick out here. Because we're just out there doing our job, kicking ass, right? Yeah. So it's not something that I ever really thought about. But I think, also like I said, coming in at the end of the duck or bleed days, and working for someone like Barry Faye, you learn to be tough. And so it never really fazed me. But it's fantastic now instead of being the only one. And I mean, it's not hugely better because we were on a tour of maybe 80, 85 people, and there was maybe 4 of us women out there.
Yeah.
So it's getting better, but it's still largely dominated male industry.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember meeting Annie and being like, whoa, that's the second like full-time like tour woman, not tour you know what I mean? Yes. Sorry, woman on tour, other than there was another one that worked for Joan and prior to that as well. But that was like funny. Years ago. And I was like, whoa, she's the only woman to work for Joan in many, many years, which I was like,
it's interesting. I've actually had other tour managers, come find me at shows and be like, I just wanted to meet you because I've never met another female tour manager before. And Avril Lavigne, when I met her as well, she had come to visit at a show, and so I went to go meet her, get her parked, all that kind of thing, and go greet her. And she looked at me like I was an alien. She's like, "You're a tour manager?" And I was like, "Yes." And she's like, "I have never met or heard of a female tour manager before."
Wow. So, that's awesome.
Yeah. So you don't really think about it until things like that happen.
Yeah. I think you were the first other female I've worked with on the Black Hearts crew since, and I've been with Joan like touring for like almost 10 years now. So I've been the lone chick on the bus and touring for a while. And I know a little good, we hung out with Joan. She was excited also to have you on. She's like, the chick factor's going up.
Oh, yes. Speaking of which, hey, Beef, did you know you took Tracey, Annie, and Joni were the trannies?
Yeah, I love that. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Man. Listen, if you guys ever go on tour again and we're all together, we could do Cum Dust and the Trannies, and please let me wear a dress.
Yes.
Please. I want to be in the band, but I just want to wear a dress.
But that's what we called ourselves for the
Trannies.
Our inner nickname.
Yeah. It's really great to see another female working in a higher position that I also don't get to see a lot.
Right.
And it was really just amazing to see you work and learn from you. And it was such like a great, like a mentoring experience. And I just learned so much from you from like watching you even with Tim Rozner and then also being out with us.
Cool. That's awesome.
She's, a badass, and I learned a lot from you.
Thank you. Awesome. Well, there was really good synergy too, because you're like the Joan at Wikipedia. So when I was with Joan, Andy'd be like, "Oh, they're not gonna like that."
Yeah. Yeah.
So you learn real quick. We gotta get this done.
Yeah.
Yep, it's gonna be done a certain way too.
Yes. And that's one thing I loved about Joan too is there's no BS with her. It's black and white, and if I'd go talk to her about something, she'd be like, "You know what? Nobody ever asks me this. This is how I want it." I'd be like, "Okay, this is how you're gonna get it then." And she would tell you what's up and what's not up, and it's like it's not easy. You tell me once, I got you. And you can really appreciate an artist like that because you know what to deliver, and there's no gray area or flams going back and forth. It's like she knows what she wants, and it's like fantastic. Let's get it for you.
Right.
Would you say working with Joan and the Blackheart crew even sharpened what I mean? I couldn't say that there isn't any skill that you haven't, or any situation that you haven't been in with. But would you say it's like working with them? It's like especially like like you're ready for anything. You're prepared at least.
Yeah, where I think I gained a lot more knowledge actually, and this is going to sound a little weird to most people, but learning more about vegans. And because I advance all the catering and working on the hospitality and so forth, so I always try to, we have all kinds of dietary, restrictions and so forth, but we don't often have vegans. We'll get vegetarians, but not vegans. So it was really a learning, more of a learning lesson for vegans and learning more about Indian food.
Tracey, I'll shut up. I'm going to shut up after this, but you brought in a thing. The first I learned about Indian food, one time we had a 6-hour layover in Madison, Wisconsin, and Joan and Kenny wanted to eat Indian food. Remember this, Annie? Were you there? Yes, you were there.
Yeah.
You remember that? It was one of the greatest Blackheart stories ever. They took us and the cabbies. All the cabbies, remember? We went out and Kenny was like, we're getting hungry, So, maybe we're thinking we get a good Indian place, We found an Indian place and they took us all to go Indian food. That's
really cool.
I ate my first Indian food with them.
I learned a lot more about Indian food for sure. Yeah. But just about, being vegans in general. And it was actually funny. My very first show working directly for Joan and the Blackhearts was their special guest appearance on the Warped Tour. And Kevin Lyman and his team were so gracious to us coming on just for the day.
They're really very good people.
Oh yeah, very helpful with the advance, and everything was just so smooth. So I went to Lisa and I was like, "What's something that I can do, really nice for Kevin?" And I'm thinking like alcohol or something. And she's like, "He's really been wanting to go fishing. Some bait worms would be really cool." So I had the runner go get him worms. Not really thinking much about it. Mentioned something in front of Kenny, and Kenny's like, "Tracey, Joan and I are vegan, right?" I was like, "Oh no!" So it became a whole thing. I was like, Kenny just wanted to make sure that everybody knew, "Tracey, you got Kevin the worms, right?" "Yes, I got Kevin the worms." Yes, I killed the worms. I don't know.
I think I learned that lesson when I ate a giant cheeseburger in front of them on the bus on the tour, and they were like, we don't care that your name is beef. We don't mind that you eat it, but you have to eat it in front of us. I was like, you got it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So.
Oh, man.
Worms.
I can't. Oh yeah, that was the first. I can't believe Warped Tour was the first one.
It was my first show with the.
Was that
officially with the Blackguards? Yeah.
Did you do? Have you done Warped Tours before that?
I haven't. You again. You were my guide. You told me the way of Warped Tour.
Oh, she's the Warped Tour goddess.
Leave at 5 o'clock in the morning, and you're like, what?
Yeah. I was like, huh?
I was like, you gotta get early. I gotta get a 10 spot. I gotta get And we actually, I think we spoke about this on another podcast or whatever. But remember, we actually had the Heart show at the same venue the week before.
Yeah, so you were able to stash some tables and so forth and there. Yeah, you were able to stash things there for when we came back. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, the guy that runs that amphitheater is so nice.
Mark. Yeah, Mark he's one of my favorites. Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah, which is the other cool thing, about doing like the amphitheater runs every year. You get to know the building, managers, things like that, which is, really cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We get to see all the venues too. There's some of the folks in the offices that don't get to experience that. So I love the fact that we're out there and we get to experience the full effect.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool. I like going to the venues early too myself, and I know Warped Tour, it's extreme, but like you said, just taking it in when you're the first one there, you're in control of what's going on. You see the lay of the land, especially if you haven't been there before. It's cool. I just love that.
On that one too, we were one of the first ones coming in as the guests, because I think we were parked up by 7 a.m. or before that.
Mm-hmm.
And because we were coming from downtown Indianapolis, so we left the hotel. I think it was like 5 or 5:30 in the morning, and they had, I think, a long run that night or something. So they all left way before us. So we were the last ones there too. So that was really interesting, being the sole survivors at the end of the night when everybody's gone. It was really wild. There was just like a big stack of Monster energy drinks on the loading dock and us.
Yeah.
I still have Monster energy drink towels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
And water in cans.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. It was Monster water. Yeah.
Oh.
So,
I remember they used to give us every day 2 cases of Monster energy drinks and 2 cases of water. And there was so much Monster energy drink on the floor. You'd be walking through the Warped Tour, all the fucking Monster juice. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And it was my birthday too. On top of it.
Happy birthday on that one.
So that's how I started.
We went out to eat that night.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. So that's how I started officially working with Joan.
Going back to being a woman in the industry, we get kind of thrown a bunch of stuff just because you're the chick, you could do that.
But yeah, there's been some personal things where I've been treated, like the woman behind the stove barefoot in the kitchen, for sure.
Right. Yeah, that's what I kind of mean.
But yeah, and I was remembering today too on our last tour with Heart, even when one of our crew guys was asking who the LD was. He was asking you, who's the LD? And you're like, it's me. And then later on, he asks her again, so who's the LD? She's like, yeah, it's still me. He asks her again. She's like, yeah, dude, I'm the LD.
Yeah. Yeah, it was right before the show, and I was on comms, and he's yelling over the comms, I need the LD. That we're starting the show, I need the LD. I'm like, it's me. He's like, not the spotlight operator. I'm like, look at front of house, red hair, I'm at the board. Let's start the show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What a fucking asshole.
And you're like, come on, man. He's like, oh, okay.
Oh, I guess it's her.
Yeah, I guess it is her. And and it's crazy because that entire tour was all female musicians.
Yeah.
It still goes on, which is crazy.
Yeah, it does. It does. But I definitely have seen a change. I definitely see a lot more women involved, which is really exciting, because somebody's got to take over for the likes of me. So come on up, let's do this, you know.
For sure.
I actually think I remember Paige on the Warped Tour. Sorry, on the Warped Tour. Paige had there was a woman out with him. I think she was doing merch, and that was like one of the first times I saw somebody, you know, other than a guy or like, you know, a merch dude. You know what I mean?
Right.
And she had her shit down. She might have been working for the label. I forgot her name, but Helmet had a chick out there with them, and she was awesome. I'll never forget. I never forget her being there, but I can't forget her name. But I mean, I don't know.
I have to give props to actually Libby Gray, Styx's LD, because being my first tour was Journey Styx REO Speedwagon. She's the one that taught me how to be a female on the road. Because there are some things that are different for us chicks out there, you know. Mm-hmm. And she's the one that taught me how to be a chick on the road. So I'm forever grateful to her for that.
She's great, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I never met her.
That's like another thing when like earlier when I was starting out doing lights too, they're like, I've never seen a girl do lights. Mm-hmm. I've never seen like, you know, or they'll immediately, and before I had met Libby, they would just be like, oh, there's also a girl that does, you know, lights for Styx. I'm like, okay, cool. That's awesome. But it would always be like a comparison immediately. Like, oh yeah, I know a female tour manager that does it for this. Oh, I know that.
That happened. Cool. Yeah.
It would never happen to a guy.
Dude, right?
I know a guy that does lights. Okay.
True. I never thought of it that way, but you're right. You're right.
Kind of like the same thing. I've never seen a female tour manager. Oh, okay, yeah, I'm here. You know,
it's just funny. I got to think like any. We always do this. It's not even. It's just something I think of. But do you have any predictions for the future of Vegas and the future of the industry? You know, did we go over this already, or my sound?
A little bit.
Okay, I did. Well, then we can edit that out.
I really don't. I really don't. It's, you know, everything that we keep hearing just keeps getting pushed back. I hope to God by late summer, definitely by the fall that we're rocking again. But I really don't know how it's going to be sooner than that. If as far as touring goes, like I said, I think residencies can absolutely happen in casino tours and so forth. But it's just it's sad, you know. We were the first ones to fall and we'll be the last ones to come back. So
pretty much.
But has Broadway closed for the entire year, or are they coming back this year?
Broadway, I believe they said they were coming back in April or May, but
I heard July.
July maybe, yeah. There was another update. I'm not too sure, but like it's just I know half the guys working in TV, and you know some of them are on the Broadway side, but their houses are cut immensely, maybe to like 5 people almost. You know, like one representative from the union, one carpenter, two or three laborers. You know what I mean? Like it's pretty dire. There's some stuff going on, you know, but it's all pre-production, obviously, for when the opening is, but nothing substantial at all.
Right. Well, I think if anyone can figure it out, you know, it is, you know, Broadway and the music industry and so forth. So it's like, let us try. Let us see what we can do.
I think, that it's a very good idea.
Come through the door.
Yeah, exactly. I was reading something about an air purification system that's being, you know, it's probably it had been proposed, you know what I mean, in certain buildings for the city. They were thinking about ways to do things, and it was, you know, it's pretty elaborate and it's pretty expensive. However, theaters and private industry are almost perfect for that, you know what I mean? Like there's money there to get money back in. So hopefully the theaters, like you said, will get it back together. You know, New York will get it back together. So. And if anybody can, we can. And Vegas too. I mean, Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely. And the capacity, you know, would be my only concern, you know, especially for touring. Again, not my end of the business, but if you can only have X amount of ticket sales, it may not be feasible for you to be on tour if you can't make the maximum amount of profit. So I don't know how it's going to work.
Yeah, there's so many factors. Like, okay, a band's on tour and someone gets sick. What do you do?
That's the thing too. Like, I don't want to step on a bus full of people right now.
No.
You know, there's no way.
Like you said, vaccinations. The labels and whoever's hiring the production crews are going to be like, everyone needs to have their papers.
I agree.
It's going to be that way.
I think
without
it should
a doubt.
be. Yeah,
I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to it at all.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but it'll be an interesting integration for that. It's like, okay, you're on the bus. Everyone get vaccinated. Everyone wear masks, and then don't go anywhere weird on your day off. Like,
right? I know. And we sleep in the same air. We sleep in our bunks. We share, everything on the road. So
here's another thought. Especially for you guys. How is this going to change the VIP meet and greet section?
I've been wondering. I'm sure they have an idea, but I've been wondering about that. I'm sure they have some sort of plan, but I don't know what that will be.
You're going to need papers. It's going to cost money. I mean, there's a lot of factors now, like
there's
artist
so
comfortability,
Well, I mean, do you, want to meet 50 strangers a night? I don't know.
Right.
If you're Kiss, it's more like 250.
Right. Depends on, absolutely depends on the artist. Yeah,
as we learned from Randy Volpert the other day. Do you know Randy? Does Tracey know Randy?
I don't.
I think you did meet. He's a Vegas merch guy. I think you met him.
Okay.
Briefly, but yeah, he does a lot of VIP meet and greet stuff, and even the merch booth, selling at a merch booth is going to be
right
because it's
will there even be merch booths? I don't know. I haven't really been paying attention.
I know it's just like
I think I have a theory on the merch. It's just going to be an app. You're just going to go to the show and you're going to have to download an app and see what concert shirt you want. And you might not be able to get the physical shirt.
Yeah,
or maybe
get it
before
delivered
you
to your
get there.
seat, or
get
it shipped to you, or maybe you pick it up at a locker. I don't really know. The vending machines, merch vending machines. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm speaking way out of turn because I haven't paid attention, but
it's all our theories.
It's theories.
Right.
It's a discussion on.
It's gonna be it's gonna be massively different than we've ever known.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That'd be. I didn't think about the meet and greet situation too. Okay,
also,
let's put the artist behind a drum shield.
Well, and then it's almost very feasible, but also like
virtually. We'll do it virtually.
Joan used to do this thing where everybody in the band except Tommy Price was taller than her, so she'd have to when they'd set up for like the Sinner promos, the 8x10s. Joan was standing in the front, the band was standing behind her. They're going to do meet and greets where they're like 7 feet away, and you're like. Hey, and it's like you're shaking hands in like, perspective. That's it. Yeah.
Perspective shots only.
That's it. Perspective shots only.
Stay safe and
we just have to continue to hang on. If we can hang in there 6 more months, I think, we'll be good. We just got to keep hanging on. I feel so awful. I mean, I'm just me taking care of me. I can't imagine having a family, children, just there's people that can't keep their houses, they can't feed their kids. It's just it's awful. So
it's rough.
Hopefully it all comes around.
Mm-hmm.
It really is. We do feel for it because you know what, like when it comes down to it, like we're not working. If no one's working, we're not working. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Mm-hmm. And entertainment is, in times of economic crisis and even crisis in general, entertainment has always flourished, because people will want to go out and want to pay their hard-earned money to go see something that they like. But right now it's forced to, we just can't.
Right.
It's a forced stop, but it's necessary. It's necessary.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the other thing too. For an audience member, when are they going to feel comfortable going to a show? Are they all going to behave? Like, there's going to be a lot of things on their end too. You know.
Oh, that's true. And there's plenty of people that don't even care. They don't even think this virus is a thing. So
right. So it's like that's going to be the top thing too. You know. So
yeah,
and then you have all drinks and stuff. So
it's a whole hoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm excited for the future, and I'm excited to see, what happens. And we will prevail. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. At some point, we'll be back. When it is back, it's going to be great.
It's going to be back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Do you have any, highlight gigs or anything that kind of pop into your head right away, like big gigs that you did that were like, that was really cool, I did that?
Oh yeah, actually I'd say number one is I was able to work on Eric Clapton's inaugural Crossroads Guitar Festival in Dallas, Texas.
Oh my God.
And that was really cool. And I was in charge of the Guitar Center Village, which was basically like a NAMM for the public. So I got to, work on booth sales and so forth with all the different manufacturers. And I got to work really closely with Dave Wiedeman from Guitar Center and work with them.
I know him.
Yeah. And we had clinics. Cool. And I mean, the stage was so full. The main stage was so full. We had the likes of John Mayer and Styx and so forth performing in our village because we just couldn't fit everybody on stage. So that was a really cool experience. Wow. And I'll never forget too, we took Eric into an interview at Sirius, who was one of our sponsors, and I'll never forget him telling me that he did not feel he was a guitar aficionado. And I was like, okay. The rest of the world does, but that's okay.
I mean, it's coming from a guy that he sold his guitar and he was like, yeah, it's just a tool. I have other tools. It doesn't have any special really meaning to me,
Yeah,
but...
he said he was not a guitar aficionado and he did not want to close the show because he didn't feel that he should. So I was like, okay. I'll never forget this one.
Wow.
So that was real cool. That was a once in a lifetime thing. Another one too that was really cool was working the Singapore Grand Prix. It was my first show with Ziggy Marley, and it was the Singapore Grand Prix. That was really cool. They know how to put on an event. I was so impressed with them. It was so cool.
I have a question. How did you do a show in Ziggy Marley with Ziggy Marley in Singapore when there are very, very strict laws regarding cannabis, would you say, or am I wrong?
Oh, he's not necessarily that guy.
Okay, all right. You know what?
That's a fair question, and I would get that a lot. And I'm like, he's not necessarily that guy.
Okay, I'm
not saying he doesn't consume it, but he's not, he's not the guy. It's not like you open the tour bus and all the ganja smoke comes out. It's not like that at all. He's very, very professional, and it's not that. So good question.
Well, I mean, it's a fair question because, I would imagine, that's what we do here on the Crewicide podcast. We dispel common myths.
Yeah.
But thank you. There's a whole lot of bleeping that we do on this show.
Okay, too. Perfect.
Annie spends so much time doing it. She's so nice.
Bleeping everything out we have. Yeah. To protect the not so innocent.
So I have a couple more questions for you real quick. Can you let us in on, this is where Annie does the highlight gig and I ask about your cool stuff, because as you can see, Annie's got cool stuff. We all have cool stuff, and you definitely have some cool stuff on your walls. So if I can just point out the first black Fender guitar it looks like, can you tell us about that?
That is Don Felder. That's from Don Felder. Yeah, who I absolutely love and adore. And so that was a special gift from him because I worked on his VIP and I helped him when he was on tour with us. He was the support act. So I always helped him special. So he got me that gift, which was really sweet.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Now let's move on over to just above your head at 12 o'clock. And I certainly have a couple myself, but what is that drum head you have on the wall?
Oh, yeah, that's Heart. Yes, that's Heart. There was only 2 of those made, and Heart says
I
it
like this.
like Heart's not about the pink, like they're not pink hearts. They're they're red hearts. They're not pink like Valentine's Day hearts, right? So this drum head has a pink heart on it. So we never ended up using it, and there was only 2 made. So I honestly collect drum heads. So I was like, can I please have that?
I got a couple. There's a couple back there. I got a Jonas Brothers head. I got a couple.
Yeah.
All right. Now moving down. So moving down, I think my favorite piece in sight the whole night I've been eyeing. It looks as if that's a Dimebag Darrell Dean guitar on the. No, just a Dean.
No, that's actually Megadeth. That's David
Oh
Payne.
my God, Megadeth! I was
close. Yeah, you're so close.
You know what? And I should have known this because I remember. Did you tell me you worked for Megadeth for a while?
I was production, and then I was tour manager for Megadeth. Yeah,
that's right. I do remember that, and it's not that I didn't think it was you, but I should have put it together that was Mustaine.
You were so close. And I don't know if you can see it, but right below that, I've got my Joan Jett Barbie doll that I absolutely love.
Yep. I see it there.
You
see the Barbie doll? I just love it. I don't know if you can see it, but I've got a boxing glove signed by Sugar Ray Leonard, too, that I love.
Oh, I'm a big boxing fanatic. I really do enjoy boxing. Like, it's a science. I love it. Yeah, we love the cool stuff. We love it because it's sort of becoming, I guess, with Randy, who is, the king of memorabilia. I've never seen anybody with more. It's beyond insane. It could be like on a TV show, but that is. I love how you curate it. I love it. I love the stuff. We love seeing the stuff. So we're gonna see everybody's stuff.
Do you like any certain things you like to get from each band that you work with?
Yeah, I definitely am all about the guitars and the drum heads. And the guitar picks too. Those
you're in a position where a guitar isn't out of the realm for a giant client. I would guitar picks, sticks, and set lists were my thing for a while.
Yeah, definitely. And the cool thing too about these guitars that's extra special is Doug Aldridge from Whitesnake, previously of Whitesnake, now at the Dead Daisies, hung them all for me. So I found that the best way to handle your guitars is have a guitar player hang them for you.
I think I've run into him at SIR 25th Street a couple of times. He's been down there a lot. They do a lot of rehearsals with us.
With it, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, very cool guys.
Yeah, cool guys. Super cool. So I have a couple questions for you guys.
Okay.
Beef, how did you get the name Beef?
Oh my God.
Because there's a Beef in Arizona, but his last name's Wellington. So he's Beef Wellington.
All right. Oh my God. All right. So there's a couple of. Oh, well, Tracey, let me tell you in the voice of Gene Simmons. No, sorry. So there's a couple of reasons how I got it and why it stayed and why I kept it. Why it stuck. But it was a high school thing, and it really stems from. Me and my good friend, Mr. Shao, who I call Shao, and a guy who you could bleep out Annie called fucking Big, and I hate his guts, so you could just say, I hope he never sees this because he probably wants to have me shot. So bleep his name out. And anybody, but whatever. We were in high school, and we were like, the 3 oddballs, and we were the big fat kids in high school, So like we had a little corner and in the locker, and we would just congregate. And one day, my buddy came in and called my buddy Shao Sugar Shaft. And I was like, what the hell? And he said, yeah, you and you with your big beefy tits. It all comes back to the tits. And I said, beefy tits? And that was a direct reference to the Jerky Boy movie that was out when we were teenagers. The Jerky Boys was the one of the original, tape traded that became, they got a record deal because they were making prank calls. You remember that? I'm sure.
Yes.
It was huge. They were a comedy duo, but like they were actually from Queens, not too far from where I live. I was like, beefy tits. And it got shortened to beef. And then he moved out. You're going to appreciate this. He moved out to Las Vegas and he moved out to Henderson, Nevada. And I woke up one day and I decided that my name would be Beef Henderson if I ever was going to be professional in the industry. And I started working in the independent wrestling and I used it as a stage name. It stuck and I just kept it in when I snuck into the music business.
It worked.
It did, and there's a couple of us out there, but yeah, that's it.
That's awesome. I love it.
Thank you.
And for a while, all Beef would eat was cheeseburgers.
That's true.
Oh, there you go.
But
you are
also,
what you eat, I guess.
I am also very, very pleased to say that as you were given the vegan education. I too have been been more aware of it, and I am very, very. I'm like down to 1% fraction of what the beef I used to eat.
Wow, that's good. It's good for your gut. That's good.
And that's it. Thank you.
And Annie, how is Jackknife Stiletto doing? And did you ever get your cat back?
No. We're doing good.
Question.
Just, can't do much right now. We're doing virtual stuff and things like that. So can't really go out and play shows yet. And
right.
So.
But it seems like though the smaller shows will have a really good shot at coming back first, right? Like it seems like
maybe some outdoor stuff over the summer, but it's a lot of in New York. You can't promote a show and sell tickets to a show right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the only thing you can do is like, it's mainly cover bands will be fine, so it's mainly cover bands playing as like
entertainment,
incidental music.
Yeah, entertainment music.
Down, like you have to sit at a table and eat. Like you can't just go to a bar here. So for us being rock punk band that usually just plays a bar that usually doesn't have a kitchen, it's like you can't.
Right. It's near places that probably aren't even open right now then, right?
Yeah, one of the bigger venues closed, unfortunately. So I just hope the smaller venues could even make it through, because obviously the bigger venues they're gonna be fine for the most part, but the smaller ones that don't have a kitchen, hopefully they could survive by something else. So yeah. Even with the kitchen, it's still rough because you have to sit down and eat at.
Right.
You have to order food at a bar.
Is it that way in the whole tri-state area? Can you travel across state lines and go perform?
Yeah. Long Island is pretty relaxed, but there's still like, I think Annie knows, but I can go sit and eat in a restaurant if I go on the Grand Central, and hit the Northern State, I'm the Cross Island, even to Elmont, right outside the Queens border. I could sit in a restaurant. I can't do that in Queens. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Long Island, you could sit in a restaurant, like you could sit and eat at a table and watch a cover band or like an acoustic act, something like that. But what's going on right now?
Pennsylvania might be different. Jersey might be different. Connecticut might be different.
Is it even smart to do it? Just like kind of hold off. Who's going to go? Like, do I want to go see a local band right now, or even a great band, whatever?
Yeah,
not really. Like I haven't gone out to eat since last March, so
I've done it a couple of times.
Yeah, like if I was more likely to do it, outdoor, stuff like that. Right now, I'm still like, I'll do takeout.
And you're buried in snow right now, right? So there's not much happening outside.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, I say the because I don't know if Annie, they have them out there more. They don't really, because the outdoor dining, but like, so they've had these outdoor dining like huts is the only way to describe them in the city.
Pods. I saw the bubbles or the pods. I think they're down in Scottsdale, and I think I heard they have them in New York too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but like, no, those are nice. Scottsdale is going to be like, oh, let's have something nice. No, we're talking about look, the Chinese restaurant and Asian restaurant downstairs. They're all night like whacking. They're like doing major construction on these things, but they're like they turn into bum igloos, is what I call them.
Oh, I have heard that. Yeah.
It's not pretty, but
Yeah.
luckily the ones that I'm looking at right now, the bar is pretty well established and it's really nice, but it's a giant. It looks like I'm looking at a catering tent right outside my window.
Well, what part of town are you in?
I'm in Queens, right in between
You're
LaGuardia and JFK, right in between.
Cool.
Right
and
there.
Annie, where are you?
I'm out in Long Island.
Okay.
So yeah, like right on the border of Nassau and Suffolk, so kind of in the middle. So,
we probably have a few more options for outdoor dining here in Vegas than you do.
Yeah.
It was like 60-some degrees and beautiful today.
Right.
You could literally down outdoor without having to worry about, slush and snow and bums.
Nothing, yeah. Just a little wind is all we have.
It's fine here. Woo.
Oh, I have a good one, which I want to actually start doing on here. Is there a difference? Okay, so when we say lobby call or like bus call, what is the difference to you? And is like a bus call, like bus calls 10 a.m., does that mean the bus is rolling at 10 or be on the bus at 10?
To me, the bus is rolling at 10. Yeah, like we're rolling at 10. But if you say lobby call, then to me, it's more flexible. It's like, we're checking out in the lobby at 9:45, but bus calls at 10. So,
right.
Yeah, be on the bus at 10 rolling, because the bus driver, the moment you step on there, that bus driver can take off. So he doesn't need you to get settled or get belted in, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's a good question. I always try and put bus call on my day sheets because that means, or departure. I think I actually I've changed it to departure, bus departure, to make it more clear.
So nobody rolls up 5 minutes after 10 being like, well, I mean, come on, it's only 5 minutes later.
Yeah, otherwise your oil spot. And people are like, what's oil spot mean? I'm like, well, that's all that's left after the bus is gone.
Which we've done that before.
Yeah, but that's a good question.
That's right, some new terminology here, folks.
We had some of those late issues on our crew of like, well, bus call means being on the bus, not, like I got to the bus at 10, but I'm still loading my
but you're still putting his stuff up, It's like, no. And I think that's like what I changed. Okay, that's now bus departure. Like, you can't be more clear than that.
I know. We were like, should we make a day sheet for today? For the podcast?
Know. I told Annie I felt like I was running late for lobby call for our call today.
And that's why I thought it'd be funny to ask that question, because I'm sure everyone has their different experiences and thoughts of like lobby call versus bus call.
And of course, it's different if you're on a fly date or if you're actually on a tour with a tour bus. So it's all different.
Do you prefer fly dates or buses?
I prefer, I'd say bus tours just because it's so easy. Like it's just so easy, and it's so nice to just crawl in your bunk and go to bed, and just wake up at the venue and not have to deal with airports and so forth. But flight dates usually mean you're flying somewhere pretty darn cool. So not always, but a lot of times it means that there's something really cool, coming up. So double-edged sword.
That's true. When I first started with the Blackhearts, everything was a fly date.
Oh,
I didn't see a bus till like 4 or 5 years in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's weird. I didn't think it was going to be that late. I think you've said that to me before.
Yeah.
I had a couple of bus tours and then it was just back to fly dates. And they would never, ever use a bus unless they had to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Joan travels a little bit different too. So, it's nice, like Annie, like you've gotten to fly on the private jets with her and so forth, which doesn't happen for everybody. But since you both live, in New York and so forth, and
once in a while you get that little
nice little perk. But because of that, your flight dates might not mean you're going somewhere exciting because they're going to fly to Wisconsin. Nothing against Wisconsin, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. to little town somewhere in the middle of somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
That actually happened. We had to fly to a small, we had to fly Midway. We had to rent 2 Lear jets, private planes, because they agreed to do a gig with, it was this thing in, it was ZZ Top, the Stray Cats, and the Pretenders at a field in right by Midway Airport. And JetBlue fucked up big time. I mean, epically. He calls it in and he had to get 2 private planes, one for the crew and band and one for the gear because it was
too
because
heavy.
they needed all their stuff, all the luggage. It was the luggage. And I'll never forget when they told them that, and they were like, "We have some good news and bad news for you." And he was like, "What could possibly be what's the good news?" It's like, "No, what's the bad news?" And he goes, "Well, the bad news is we can't get all of your luggage and your personal items and some of the crew pieces on the plane with you and the band and the crew." And he goes, "All right, what's the good news?" "The good news is I can charter you a plane." And he was not happy, to say the least. But
I can hear it. Yeah.
We had that happen to us for a Canadian show. I think all the flights got canceled, and in the within a 24-hour period, there were 5 private planes that had
wow.
One for the band, one for the crew, one for the gear to go there, and then get out was another one for the crew, one for the band. It was like crazy.
Wow.
And we were actually on the second flight with all the gear, so I was like on there with like guitars were in the row and stuff, and you're like, "Oh no, it's scary." You know?
And you're thinking to yourself, "Wow, a private Lear jet! Look at me now, surrounded by gear."
And Annie's small enough; you can just put her on top of her case.
Yeah, I was literally like on top of guitar cases, like.
And you know how some of those bathrooms go in those planes. You have to make the bathroom. You know.
Or you don't get to there were guitars in the bathroom too.
Yeah, right.
And you know what the first rule of being on a private plane is, right?
What?
The first rule of being on a tour bus.
Rule number 2.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Do you have any other things you want to plug or anything like that?
It's just been fantastic catching up with you and having some laughs.
Mm-hmm.
It was really awesome. I never got the time to spend with you like you did with Annie, although we have seen each other multiple times, and I really have immense enjoyment from this right now. And just hearing all the shit that you were talking about, how what's his name, Mr. Faye?
Oh, Barry Faye.
Barry Faye. Like I know Kenny talks about Ron Delsner, know, and and I believe, and the Graham, of course, everyone knows about the Mr. Graham, but
yes.
I don't believe I know who Barry Faye is, and you've piqued my interest because I'm a bit of a historian, and now I really want to dig into what he did for his territory, because at that time in the 80s, and I'm sure he goes before then, or before the corporate era of Live Nation and Clear Channel, where it was now it's a very structured thing. It interests me immensely to know what this guy's background was. So thank you so much for getting me thinking about the history of your territories.
It's really interesting. And starting out working for Barry Faye too, I saw the transition of MCA concerts coming in, Universal concerts, and that was all before the Live Nation and so forth. So it's really interesting to live through those transitions.
Wow. We'll talk about that again. Maybe we hope come on again. I'm sure you'll come on again, right?
Yeah, I would love to. I'd love to come on and catch up with some of the projects that I can talk about more and so forth. And everyone go to goformerch.com, please.
It's going to be flashing.
Thank you. That's my neon sign. Like, do you ever watch Jesus and Mero? That's my bodega neon sign. Goformerch.com. Thank you.
Thank you for coming on with us.
Guys.
Everyone, make sure check out in all the links below that we mentioned. Make sure to what's your social media? You want to tag that?
That's all goformerch.com. Perfect.
Merch.com.
Yep.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for tuning in with us.
Thank
I
you.
can't wait to work with you again. And
I really hope to work with you more. Honestly,
me
I really
too.
do.
Yeah, me too.
I really do.
Definitely. And if you're in Vegas, please let me know.
I will be. It's just a matter of when. And I promise I will come to see you.
Absolutely. All right. Cool, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to the Crewicide podcast, and we'll see you next time.
By the way, I forgot to tell you guys, I love your theme song.
Oh, thanks.
I love it. I love what you did. Oh, no, it's perfect. It's perfect.
If you say so, then I won't think about it no more, because I highly value your opinion.
Yeah, no, I think it's perfect. And like I was telling Annie, I love the road case theme you got going on there. And I love what you guys are doing. So
awesome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. And
I
said, you'll always have a forum. Anything you want to do, you'll always have a forum here.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because
sure.
the Progress Humanity stuff's going to be real cool and we can talk about it. Thank you. Cool. All right. I'll chat with you guys later.
All right. Bye.
See you later.
Bye.
Crewicide! 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 Crewicide!